Toronto Sun, why are you so racist? Well, the Toronto Sun has thrown another snit fit over Muslims. The Toronto Transit Commission, the TTC, in the subway have approved an advertisement stating that from the Islamic Info Center that between such and such time, anybody can come down and learn about Islam. Just walk in, there's books, come have a discussion, learn something about Islam from actual Muslims instead of people like the Sun or the right-wing Christian church who demonize everything. Well, they didn't like this. Apparently, they just don't like the idea of somebody holding an open meeting where anybody can come in and discuss the Quran or learn something about the Quran or learn something about Islam. They don't really like understanding. Now they're saying this is offensive. This is offensive to all other religions, and the poster is implying that all other religions are incorrect. Now the thing is, the TTC has received 5 complaints. A total of 5 people have actually complained, and the Toronto Sun is promoting this like it's this gigantic outrage against the poster. But these are the same people who turn around and say that robocalls involving 200 of the 308 writings that exist in Canada of election misconduct is manufactured by the left media. And by left media, what they actually really mean is everybody but them, because even other right media, the National Post, the Globe and Mail, are also reporting this. But for some reason, 200 writings being affected or have reports of it being affected by robocalls is a fabrication. But a total of 5 complaints over a supposedly offensive poster is public outrage, according to them. Now, certain organizations are going around saying this is an attempt by Muslims to force people to convert, being a public meeting that no one's obliged to go to, no one's being forced to actually go to, and one that you can just leave anytime you want. It's a very strange claim. The Islamic Info Center, Mohammed Abdullah, actually responded to the criticism by saying this: "Of course, our aim is never to convert people. They have the choice to accept or reject it." Now, one of the groups that has a problem with this is the Canada Family Action Coalition, which is basically the foundation for families, Christian right-wing organization in the States. It's basically the Canadian equivalent, which means they shouldn't be taken seriously at all. But they're saying that the poster promotes all other religions being wrong, and that it's persecuting anyone that doesn't agree with Islam or just isn't Muslim. Now, I find the claim that they're persecuting anybody who's not Muslim to be absolutely ridiculous, and I love it when Christians try to promote this and tell me how Islam is my enemy and it's taking over and it's trying to destroy anything that's not Muslim, considering that I am Sami. I came from a people who were ridiculously persecuted by Christians. We were murdered, forced conversions, we had people burned at the stake, and then we had a whole bunch of eugenics BS dumped all over us. So I think it's really kind of funny, since my people were massively persecuted and murdered by Christians, to turn around and tell me Islam is my enemy, when Islam has done absolutely nothing to me, has done nothing to my people. So I just think that's really funny when Christians try to scaremonger me against another religion who did nothing to me, by the people who did actually quite a hell of a lot. And I can tell you that since I am not an atheist, I don't find this poster to be saying that my religion is fake, and nor do I feel persecuted by Muslims for having put it up. So I can tell you that's just complete BS. What they're really trying to do is get real knowledge of the religion out there, so people don't go around thinking ignorant things like what the Family Action Coalition Center just said. Now, the head of it, Charles McVety, said this: "Recognize that in a public space, this is an offensive ad to all non-Muslims. It's saying all other faiths are illegitimate." Once again, I don't feel like my religion, which is not Islam or Christianity, is being persecuted by this at all. They are a right-wing Christian fundamentalist organization, so their opinions should not be taken well as valid. But unfortunately, it is news, and it is persecution that's going on, so I pretty much do have to cover it. Now, the same organization, McVady, does go around saying that Muslims are a super class of citizen, meaning they have rights that are greater than Christians, which is completely laughable. Christians put out a message of everybody who doesn't follow our religion is going to hell, and everybody's like, oh, and doesn't want to hear it. Islam says, here's our religion, want to read about it, want to learn about it, and they're the bad guys. We can tell over and over again how brown people are pulled over less frequently than white people. Of course, I'm not implying that all Muslims are brown, but a great majority of them, which is probably more where that statement by the Family Action Coalition Center is probably coming from. But I mean, this is just typical for Christianity. Take a small minority, like Muslims, and they are a very small minority in Canada, and claim they're being persecuted by them. Remember, the witches were persecuting everybody, were persecuting them. The pagans were persecuting them. The Native Americans were persecuting them. Everybody was. I mean, there's nothing more Christian than claiming an exceedingly small group of people is trying to destroy you. Now, the real reason that this is news at all is because Sun Media, as a subsidiary of QMI, is all on the privatize everything Stephen Harper bandwagon. I mean, they've basically been his media mouthpiece. Of course, he's probably crying because the CBC won't just put out everything Stephen Harper wants them to in the same tone, inflection, word for word, everything propaganda that he wants. So that's the job of the Sun, just to put out everything he wants and demonize anything that's publicly owned in order to push the agenda or the idea that everybody wants things privatized. If you want to know what the privatization of public transportation has done to cities, look at any city that's ever done it, and they pretty much regret that they have done it. So, Sun, why are you so racist? Just to support Stephen Harper?